Hey, welcome back into today's video. A quasi-independent nation, a sovereign entity that is subject to no law, a center of conspiracy theories for the last 1,000 years. Illuminati ties, the Knights of Templar. It just seems we may have a case on our hands. A conspiracy theory that has not been in the mainstream, but to first glance looks like they're a humanitarian society that is helping poverty and pushing the hands of good. But a deeper look tells otherwise. Could we be dealing with a entity bent on world domination? Who are the Knights of Malta and what do they want? They are a secretive religious order with long and bloody history and unique status under international law. But that doesn't mean that they run the world. Or does it? When the order was founded, knights were expected to take a vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience upon joining, meaning they couldn't have sex, and it looks like they couldn't have possessions, and it looks like you definitely don't want to be a member. Not to even get in to be a member of this, you had to be of aristocrat lineage, royalty, or they wasn't gonna let you in. But more recently, in the modern age, they've Americanized it, as it says, and you no longer have to become a member of nobility. In recent years, the organization has become increasingly American in membership. The leader of the order, referred to as the Prince or the Grand Master, is elected for life in a secret conclave that must be approved by the Pope. Interesting. Now, I think one of the most interesting things about these guys is they are literally an independent subject of international law, meaning that they're like a quasi-independent type of thing. They operate as an entire country, but dear Jesus, they're not a country. Check these out. Its sovereignty means absolute and final authority. Quasi means supposedly, seemingly, apparently, allegedly, and whatever that word is on the face of it. So a quasi-sovereign government would be one that is sovereign in appearance, but not really sovereign. So it's basically like these guys are like everywhere. They operate and have the same rules as a country, a whole entire country, but they don't even own any property. They don't own any land. They have members stretched across the entire planet of massive, very high up. Now, one of the craziest things is like these guys have been around for a long time. They even influenced Hitler, right? Check this out. Pope made Hitler's vice chancellor Knight of Malta. Now, I do want to tell you that the Knights of Malta, they're still hold allegiance to the Vatican because they're a Catholic organization, but they have influenced many things upon the last millennia. It's crazy how old this organization is. One of the oldest organizations in history, and it even has branches in the United States government as well as other governments across the entire planet. I mean, Franz von Papen brought Hitler to power in 1933. In 1959, von Papen was made a Knight of Malta and awarded the Grand Cross by the Pope in Rome. Now I know what you're thinking, and I see what you mean. These guys made the Hitler Germany, the Nazi, but if they're responsible for that, then they're also quite possibly responsible for the United States government. On the 8th of April 1933, von Papen traveled to the Vatican to offer whatever this word right here is that defined the German state's relationship with the Roman Catholic Church. Von Papen secured the Vatican religious freedom in Nazi Germany. So they did have a very, very strong relationship to the Vatican and the Nazis in Nazi Germany, and they even helped them out during the war. Check this out. It's kind of like the Underground Railroad in the United States history. It was called the Vatican rat line, where they actually helped In World War II aftermath, they helped Germany. They helped Germans out of particular situations. Rat lines were a system of escape routes for Nazis and other fascists fleeing Europe at the end of World War II. These escape routes mainly led toward havens in Latin America, particularly Argentina, Paraguay, Colombia, Brazil, and a whole list of other ones. Now things got really crazy when a world-renowned Pulitzer Prize winner, Seaman Hirsch, pretty much blew the basket off of a huge claim, and it kind of shook everybody up a little bit. Hirsch was the same guy that exposed the Mei Li massacre and the White House's infamous assassination squad. He went on to say that huge higher-ups in the United States government, as part of the Special Operations Command and the Joint Operations Command, were either members of the Knights of Malta or very strong supporters. I mean, the CIA was being manipulated. He says, he then alleged that General Stanley McChrystal, who headed the JSOC before briefly becoming the top U.S. commander in Afghanistan, and his successor, Vice Admiral William McRaven, as well as many within the JSOC, were all members or at least supporters of the Knights of Malta. This is getting hardcore. We've got to put the Illuminati protection glasses on. Hirsch may have been referring to the Sovereign Order of Malta, a Roman Catholic organization committed to the defense and faith and assistance to the poor and suffering, or the good old goal of world domination. So it's like this huge conspiracy thing, the Knights of Malta, but it reminds me of the Knights of Templar, because the Knights of Templar were hugely in the same way. I have long since thought that the Illuminati was a coined term that generalized secret organizations that kind of pulled the strings under the ground. But as interesting as this is, and oh my god, is it ever so interesting? There's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go ahead and leave your creative and or interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up for those likes. And as always, brothers and sisters, I will see you in the next video. I mean, at first glance, they look like the friendly neighborhood helper, but deep down, it looks like they're shadows of a powerful organization bent on world domination. What more do you ask for? The thing is, I don't know. What do you think about this? It's absolutely crazy. The Knights of Malta, and this is recently getting, oh, I got a phone call. We'll all be dad biscuits. Hello?
What's up?
I'm just at the end of my video, and you are again in it.
You ever try those standing up tenant beds?
Why, yes, I have. Actually, no, I've never have.
It's really good. You don't have to lay in somebody's filth.
Well, that's always a plus positive. Give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I know you guys are repping and Gregging, or you're Gregging and repping. So, how do you become a member of the Rep Squad? Well, all you gotta do is subscribe with notifications turned on and be in the comment section after every single video, because I'm gonna be there. Greg the Cat's gonna be there. This random guy that always calls me on my videos is probably gonna be there. Just don't forget that this channel loves you. That was good.